Okay, everyone. So I'm going to take a look at number 3 now for exam 1, part 2 review. Part 3 says an RIT student went to a local tavern and asked not to drink, but to ask to see a bottle of each beer served and recorded the alcohol by volume. So that's the ABV percent. I recorded a whole bunch of data here and I have it. So I want to, in part A, use your calculator to construct a box plot of this data. So when I say use your calculator, you could do different things. You can actually draw the box plot. You can put the data into a list and draw a box plot. You can put the data into a list and then get your statistics. And that's what I did. So I put this all in, all this data, and I got the 5-number summary. So I'm going to go ahead and say, well, my 5-number summary is going to be 0, 4.2, 4.7, 4.9, and 5.5. And I did get the mean from that statistics, which is 4.34. So, I put that on my box plot. And I'm going to have to calculate the outliers here in a minute. I guess I'll just do it now because then I just have them so I can draw them. So remember, we always want to include the mean and outliers. So the outlier cutoffs are going to be my fences, right? For this. So first thing I need to look at is the IQR, and so I can use that. So I'm going to just start with IQR. Remember, IQR is quartile 3 minus quartile 1, which leaves me with 0.7. My upper fence is going to be quartile 3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. I'm just going to go ahead and plug this all in. Whoops. And here I get 5.95, sorry. And then my lower fence is going to be quartile 1 minus that quantity of 1.5 times IQR. And again, I'm going to plug this all in. Like that. And I find 3.15 here. So now I have my outlier cutoff value, so I can go ahead and draw my box plot. So I'm just going to put some sort of scale here. So I can see from my data set, it starts at 0 and it goes up to 5. So I'm going to start at 0 and just count by ones. And I'm just going to go right up to 6 here. You can always choose your own. It's just what I'm choosing. I'm going to start with the 3 vertical lines that represent the 3 quartiles. So 4.2, so I'm up here, 4.7, and 4.9. And I'm going to box them in. So right there is my box. I'm going to add my mean of 4.34. So that's right around here. Circle that. That means the mean. I'm going to put that right here. So we have it. So we know. And remember, I want to now do my whiskers, but in order to do that, those are the horizontal lines that come off the box. In order to do that, I have to know where my lower fences and upper fences are. So I'm going to mark those on here. I just feel like being colorful today, so I'm going to do some different colors. So 5.95, which is way up here, almost a 6, and 3.15, which is right here. And anything outside of those values are going to be considered outliers. So I have to go back and look at my raw data to see where I have them. So I have an outlier at 0. Just put a star there. 2.3, I'm going to put a star there, and 2.9, I have a star there. Then the next value, if you're looking at the data, because it's already ordered, 3.7. 3.7 is where my whisker is going to go to. Somewhere's right around here. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a drawing. Okay. You don't have to label any of these values either. So you know what they are. You picked them out. You can label them if you want. You don't have to. Just want to let you know that's your option. Now let's take a look at the if there's any outliers on the top side. There isn't, because the fence goes up to 5.95 and my highest value is 5.5. So my whisker will just go to that highest value of 5.5. So there's no outliers on the top side. So that was part A. So all of that took part A, but I'm going to use all this information now to answer the rest. So part B already did the work. Part B just says compute the outlier cutoff, show your work, add these to your drawing, and complete the statement below. So alcohol values below 3.15 and above 5.95 are considered outliers. That's all I'm going to put in here. My cutoffs. I'm just going to put those there. Now I can move on to part C. Compute the mean, add this to your drawing. We did. I'm just going to say here is the mean, just to fill it in. So we already did a lot of this work. So now you can see these parts are going quickly. In the box plot, identify the typical value in the spread. Provide numbers, explain the box plot, and explain how they show the typical values in the spread. So remember, when we're looking at box plots, we're using the typical value as the median. Which is my quartile 2. So that's my middle value here of 4.7. So that's my typical value for my box plot. And then the spread of my box plot is my IQR. We already calculated it. It's actually pretty small, 0.7. Okay. We calculated it right up here. IQR. That's the spread. Let me write that because I didn't. Oh, I did write it. Spread. Sorry. Okay, so here I have that my box plot shows, and you can write it out as a sentence. My box plot shows a typical alcohol value at 4.7% and the spread at 0.7%. Okay. So that's D. I feel like there's not a lot to do for these parts because we already did all the work. Describe the shape of the distribution. So remember, like I said in question 1, you could tell a lot by the shape by looking at the mean versus median. So I'm going to write that down. Mean versus median. And I can take a look at the shape. So here my mean is 4.34. My median is the 4.7. You can see it up here. Look how far the mean is to the left, right? It's really pulled to the left. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is skewed left because the mean is less than the median. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is a skewed left data set. Okay? Or we could call this a negative skew. Just another term, just another way of writing it. Okay. So that answers all my questions for number 3.